Hey folks, Colin here from Sumthins Recording, and today I'm going to show you one trick to enhance the energy on your lead vocals. We're going to be looking at lead vocal energy today, but before we dive in, if you're ready to take your vocal mixes to the next level and perfect your EQ strategy, then I have just the thing for you. It is my ultimate guide to vocal EQ. It's just a simple PDF that will walk you through EQing your vocals step by step to help you get polished and professional sounding vocals without any more guesswork and without any more hassle. It is completely free and you can download it below using the link in the video description. Now let's jump in here and take a look at this vocal. To kick things off here, let me play you the finished vocal mix inside of our finished mix, and then we're going to talk about how we can take it to another level and enhance our vocal energy with a simple little trick here. Okay, so here is our finished vocal inside the finished mix here. Running and running, I've been chasing her around, but I can't pin this little dragon down. She gives me half of a sign, she wants me in her life, but I can't help thinking that I'm wasting her time. I'll never be the man she needs, so I'll say my calls and be a memory. Yeah. Running and running, I've been chasing her around, but I can't pin this. That's our finished vocal inside the finished mix. Let me just solo up our lead vocal so you can hear what it sounded like by itself. You can hear our finished vocal mix here and hear the energy level it's currently sitting at before we level it up a little bit here. Running and running, I've been chasing her around, but I can't pin this little dragon down. She gives me half of a sign, she wants me in her life, but I can't help thinking that I'm wasting her time. I'll never be the man she needs, so I'll say my calls and be a memory. Yeah. Running and running. That's where our lead vocal is currently sitting at. Turned off the reverb there just so you could hear a little bit more clearly what our vocal mix is sounding like, dry as well as with the reverb in. So what we're going to do to take our energy up a little bit and give our vocal a little bit more oomph with this song is use a little bit of automation. But we're going to put our automation in time with our song. So we're going to use our grid, since our song was tracked to a click here, to help give our vocal a little bit more energy with some automation bumps here. So we're going to go to our lead vocal. If you click on the volume fader, you can click this little A up here, and it'll create an automation lane for you on your lead vocal. This is, of course, specific to PreSonus Studio One here. But all we're doing, we're creating an automation lane. I'm going to zoom in to extra large here. And let's take a look at our drums here real quick. So we got our kicks on our 1s and 3s and our snares on our 2s and 4s. So let's start just going along with our kick here. We're just going to emphasize our 1s and our 3s. And we're just going to do a dB boost on our 1s and 3s. So we'll start here with just the first couple bars, and then once we have a few in, I can copy them, paste them through this little section here. So what we've done here is just a little boost, a 1 dB boost, oops, I'm changing our loop here, a 1 dB boost on our 1s and on our 3s. So we're doing a dB boost pretty much every time our kick drum's hitting here. What this is going to do is give our vocal a little boost in energy, a little boost in volume every time our kick drum hits. So it's going to bring the energy up on our vocal in time with our song. So it's going to help things vibe a little bit better while also bringing up our vocal in energy. So let's zoom out a little bit here so we're not so tight. We're going to go back just a little bit here before this chorus and take a listen to what our vocal sounds like now. I've been running and running, I've been chasing her around, but I can't pin this little dragon down. She gives me half of a sign, she wants me in her life, but I can't help thinking that I'm wasting her time. I'll never be the man she needs, so I'll say my calls and be a memory. Yeah. Running and running, I've been chasing her around, but I can't. Forgot to unmute my microphone. You can hear the effect we're getting there. Our vocal's taking a little bump up on some of these words when our kick drum hits. So our vocal locks in a little bit better with our drums with this boost of energy. So we're getting a little bit extra volume out of our vocal, but it's staying in time. It's on beat with our drums. Before we move any further, let me just solo up our vocal here and our drums so you can hear how they kind of lock together. I'm going to mute our congas here. I'll leave the tambourine in for the moment. So here's just our drums and our lead vocal.
Running and running, I've been chasing her around, but I can't pin this little dragon down. She gives me half of a sign, she wants me in her life, but I can't help thinking that I'm wasting her time. I'll never be the man she needs, so I'll save my calls and be a memory. Yeah, yeah. Running and running, I've been chasing her around, but I can't pin this little dragon.
So let's go back here and let's take a listen to our vocal and drums without the automation in. So I'm just going to turn off our automation here and keep our vocals straight going through this chorus here.
I've been running and running, I've been chasing her around, but I can't pin this little dragon down. She gives me half of a sign, she wants me in her life, but I can't help thinking that I'm wasting her time. I'll never be the man
So it doesn't feel like the biggest difference when you do it, but when you take it away, you can feel the energy disappear from your vocal. You can feel how flat it gets and how one note it stays throughout this chorus. Let's put our automation back in here. Take a listen to the same passage one more time. So pay attention to how on our kick drums, our vocal feels more alive. It feels more dynamic, feels more fluid, feels much more like a lively performance of the vocal here. So same chorus section one more time.
I've been running and running, I've been chasing her around, but I can't pin this little dragon down. She gives me half of a sign, she wants me in her life, but I can't help thinking that I'm wasting her time. I'll never be the man she needs, so I'll save my calls and be a memory. Yeah, yeah. Running and running.
Now, if that's a little extreme for you, which it might be, it's a little bit noticeable, especially if you have an ear for this stuff, you can go a little bit less. So if a dB is too much for you, same technique, but maybe try going a half dB. So we'll go up a half dB, same thing here, just on our kick, all the way through. We'll give it a copy. And we'll take a listen to the same section one more time. We'll do it with just our vocal and drums, and then we'll put our vocal back in the mix. So all we've done is take our bump down from a dB to a half dB now. So it's a little bit more subtle, a little less noticeable, while still giving our vocal a little extra bump of energy on our kick drums.
I've been running and running, I've been chasing her around, but I can't pin this little dragon down. She gives me half of a sign, she wants me in her life, but I can't help thinking that I'm wasting her time. I'll never be the man she needs, so I'll save my calls and be a memory. Yeah, yeah. Running and running.
So we still get that nice energy boost, but it's not as noticeable, so it doesn't feel like the vocal's jumping out so far. So if it's a little extreme for you, just nudge it back a little bit, just make it a little bit more subtle. What this gives you is a little extra energy boost after you finished your vocal processing. So if you had to go a little bit heavy with your compression, which I go a little bit heavy with compression sometimes. I like the aggression it gives the vocal. I like the vibe it gives the vocal, pushing it into a compressor. Sometimes you lose a little bit of the dynamic range from your vocal, and it gets a little bit one note sounding because the volume stays the same. It pushes your vocal out front, but it's one note all the way through. So what we can do to get some of that dynamic and some of that energy, some of that natural flow back, is to use an automation trick like this. So just on our kick drums, just on our ones and threes, you could do it on your snares too if that's a little bit more where the emphasis is on your vocal lines. Then go to your snares, go to your twos and fours, and bump those up a dB or a half dB. There's a couple different ways you can do this. If you don't want to use automation, you could always try an expander and sidechain it with your kick drum or your snare drum. So when those hits happen, it gives your vocal a little bit extra bump. You could gate it with another vocal, so duplicate your vocal and sidechain it to that. So every time the kick drum hits, it opens and lets a little bit more of the vocal through, and then just tuck that under your vocal. A couple different ways you can do this. You could sidechain reverb to give your reverb a little bit of extra boost on those kicks and snares. Tons of ways you can use this trick to give your vocal a little bit of extra energy, but keep it in time and vibing with your track. I hope that was helpful for you, and like I said at the beginning of the video, if you're ready to level up your vocal mixes and dial in your EQ strategy, then I have just the tool for you, and it is completely free. It is my ultimate guide to vocal EQ, and you can download it below to start creating more professional vocal mixes in less time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.